The first time they called me a gold digger, it was disguised as a joke. We were sitting around a long polished table, crystal glasses catching the warm glow of the chandelier, laughter bouncing off the walls like everything in that house had been designed to impress. I remember gripping my fork a little tighter when Daniel's uncle raised his glass and smirked, to Daniel, and to his wife, who clearly knew how to pick the right bank account. Everyone laughed. Everyone except me. Daniel squeezed my hand under the table, a silent apology, but he didn't say anything out loud. That was the pattern. Always the same. A quiet squeeze. A soft look. But never words. Never defense. I smiled that night. I told myself it didn't matter. But it didn't stop there. The comments became tradition. Every birthday, every anniversary, every family gathering, they'd find a way to remind me who they thought I was. Must be nice not to work, his cousin would say, even though I had 2 freelance jobs at the time. Careful, Daniel, his mother would add with a laugh, she might trade you in for someone richer. 3 years. 3 years of swallowing humiliation like it was part of the meal. And the worst part, it slowly started to change how people saw me. Not just them, everyone connected to them. Friends, extended family, even acquaintances began to look at me like I had an invisible price tag attached. I became that woman. The one who married up. The one who got lucky. The one who didn't belong. But what they never cared to ask was where I came from. I grew up in a small house where money wasn't just tight, it was non-existent. My father worked himself into exhaustion, my mother stretched every coin until it screamed, and I learned early that if I wanted something, I had to earn it. Not ask. Not wait. Earn. So I did. I studied harder than anyone I knew. Took scholarships. Worked night shifts. Slept less than I should have. While others were building social lives, I was building survival. And eventually, I built something more. But I never talked about it. Not because I was ashamed, but because I didn't need validation. I didn't need applause. And when I met Daniel, I thought I had finally found a space where I didn't have to prove anything. I was wrong. The night everything changed started like all the others. Another dinner. Another celebration, this time Daniel's father's retirement. The house was fuller than usual, voices louder, drinks stronger. I could already feel it before it began, that familiar tension sitting quietly in my chest. And then came the toast. Daniel's mother stood up, elegant as always, her smile sharp behind the politeness. She lifted her glass and looked directly at me. To family, she began, her tone smooth. To legacy, and to those who join it. A pause. Just long enough. And to the ones who recognize opportunity when they see it. Laughter erupted again, louder this time. Some people even glanced at me openly now, no longer pretending. Something inside me didn't break. It stilled. Completely. I looked around that table, the same faces, the same assumptions, the same quiet cruelty wrapped in silk words. And for the first time in 3 years, I didn't feel small. I felt done. Daniel leaned toward me slightly. Ignore it, he whispered. But this time, I didn't. Instead, I stood up. The room quieted almost instantly. Not out of respect, but curiosity. They wanted to see how I'd react. Whether I'd laugh it off again. Whether I'd play my role. I picked up my glass slowly, my fingers steady. You're right, I said calmly. A few eyebrows lifted. I did recognize an opportunity. Silence. I reached into my bag, pulling out a simple envelope, nothing flashy, nothing dramatic. Just paper. For 3 years, I continued, you've told a story about me, over and over again. So tonight, I thought I'd share something real. Daniel looked confused now. What are you doing? He murmured. I didn't answer him. Instead, I placed the envelope gently on the table. And slid it toward his father. You might want to read that, I said. The room leaned in without moving. Because something had shifted. And for the first time. They didn't know what was coming. No one spoke as Daniel's father stared at the envelope. The room that had always felt so loud, so confident, now sat in a strange, fragile silence. The kind that only appears when certainty begins to crack. What is this? He asked, his voice slower now, cautious. Just read it, I replied. He hesitated, but curiosity won. It always does. Carefully, he opened the envelope and pulled out a set of documents. His eyes moved across the page once, then again. And then everything changed. His posture stiffened. The color in his face shifted. What is it? Daniel's mother asked, her voice tight, trying to maintain control over a situation she didn't understand anymore. He didn't answer her. Instead, he looked up at me, really looked at me this time. Not through assumptions. Not through judgment. Through truth. This, he He began slowly. This can't be right. It is, I said quietly. Daniel stepped closer. Dad, what is it? His father turned the paper toward him. And I watched as realization hit him like a wave. Piece by piece. This property, Daniel whispered. This address. Yes, I said. The house. Not this one, their grand family home. The one we were sitting in. The one they believed defined their legacy. I bought it, I said. The words didn't echo. They landed. Heavy. Final. That's impossible, his mother snapped immediately. This house has been in our family for years. Not exactly, I replied calmly. It was under financial pressure 2 years before I met Daniel. Loans, refinancing, missed payments. It was close to being seized. Her expression faltered. Just slightly. I work in asset recovery, I continued. It's not something I talk about much. But I came across this property during a portfolio review. I saw potential, and I made an offer through a third party. The room was completely still now. No laughter. No whispers. Just truth unfolding. You're saying, his cousin began, struggling to form the words, you're the reason this house wasn't taken. I nodded once. Yes. Daniel looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Why didn't you tell me? Because it didn't matter, I said softly. Not to me. I didn't marry you for this house. I didn't marry you for money. I married you because I believed in us. A pause. And because I thought I'd finally be part of a family that saw me, not judged me. No one could meet my eyes now. Especially not his mother. She stood frozen, her earlier confidence completely gone. You expect us to believe that you just saved us, she said, but her voice lacked conviction. I don't expect anything, I replied. I'm just done letting you define me. Daniel's father spoke again, his voice quieter than before. These documents, they show full ownership. Yes. Which means, I met his gaze steadily. Which means this house isn't yours anymore. The weight of that truth settled over the table like a storm finally breaking. For 3 years, they had reduced me to a stereotype. A joke. A convenient story that made them feel superior. And now, that story was gone, replaced by something they couldn't control. Something they couldn't laugh at. Silence stretched again, but this time, it wasn't fragile. It was heavy with realization. Daniel finally spoke, his voice low. All this time, you were protecting something that wasn't even yours anymore. I shook my head gently. No, I was protecting you. That hit him harder than anything else. I picked up my glass again, the same one I had raised so many times before while swallowing their words. But this time was different. This isn't about revenge, I said. It never was. I just wanted respect. My eyes moved across the table, meeting each of theirs. And now you know the truth. No one laughed. No one spoke. Because there was nothing left to say. After 3 years of being called a gold digger, all it took was one piece of paper. To show them, I was the one holding everything together all along.